Hi everyone, welcome along. This is Rod's teaching and those of you online, thanks for having me here. So let's begin our class as we normally do. We begin by setting our motivation, taking refuge together, and then enhancing that motivation as body tutor. We'll say a few prayers and then I'll begin the class, and during the class, of course, we can pause and ask different questions if you like. So please just adjust your posture so your back is straight. You want to have your shoulders relaxed. Your head should be sort of evenly balanced on your neck. And your eyes, you can keep them fully open, half closed or completely closed, whatever suits you. So once you are sitting comfortably, let the body breathe itself. And feeling the body breathe itself. Relax into awareness. Imagine the nature of the ground beneath you is made of starry sapphire light, which is very, very soft. And the space above you is filled with rainbows and offerings. And directly in front of you, about the level of your eyebrows, appears a throne held up by 8 white snow lions. And on the seat of that throne, there are cushions of a lotus and a sun and moon lying flat. And sitting on that flat moon cushion is the Buddha Shakyamuni. He's golden in colour, he wears the 3 robes of the monk. His right hand is touching the earth, his left hand is holding the begging bowl. He is surrounded by an assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, deities, and other enlightened beings. You are sitting beneath the Buddha, and you are surrounded by all sentient beings. These sentient beings include your parents. So your mother is sitting on the left, your father on the right. Close friends and family are behind you. Difficult people are directly in front of you, and strangers surround these groups of people. And I'll just take a moment to consider how fortunate you are to still be alive today. There are many more causes of death than there are for life. And though we shall all die, none of us know when. And every minute that we sit here, over 100 people die. So while we are alive, we have the leisure and opportunity to attain any spiritual goal that we set for ourselves. But we need to act quickly. Things are not quite right. And this world does not exist as it seems to. Nevertheless, we have met a spiritual friend, and this spiritual friend of ours is leading us in the safe directions of the 3 rare sublime ones. The Buddha, his teacher or doctor, the teachings as medicine, and the enlightened community, the people who accompany us, or the nurses. So to make our practice as purely as possible, I'd like you to imagine yourself to be as clear as a deity. And your body is made like a bubble of rainbow light you can see clean through. And you're holding in your hands a dorje and a bell. The bell is in your left hand, symbolizing wisdom, realizing emptiness. And the dorje is in your right hand, symbolizing the skillful means or body tutor. You're sitting within a sphere of great bliss. And you want to lead all the thinking beings who surround you, your parents, your family, difficult people and friends. You want to lead them all towards the safe direction, in the safe direction of the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. And so you say, I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma and the Supreme Ascendant. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma and the Supreme Ascendant. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma and the Supreme Ascendant. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. In response to this wish of ours, imagine that from the heart of each enlightened being above you, lights and nectars stream down, and these dissolve into yourself and all living beings surrounding you. These lights and nectars, they purify negative karmas and obstructions. They increase your health and lifespan, your virtues and realizations. So it cleans with wisdom, it fortifies with compassionate love. Recollect the four immeasurable thoughts. These being love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. Decide to develop these yourself and to establish all beings in these four immeasurable states. To affirm this wish of yours, join me in saying, may all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be separated from the happiness that is without suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from the vice of attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. In response to this verbalized wish, think that from the heart of each enlightened being, lights and nectar stream down, and these dissolve into yourself and all living beings surrounding you. And negative karmas and obstructions are purified. Their health and lifespan, virtues and realizations are increased. So you relax and exhale. And from that relaxed state of awareness, invite the field for accumulating merit, and they appear. And you say, under their gaze, reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. I present clouds of every type of offering, actual and imagined. I declare all the negative actions accumulated since the beginning of this time, and rejoice in the veritable whole and ordinary beings. Please remain until the end of cyclic existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for living beings. I dedicate my own and others' merits to the great enlightenment. So we've purified our body, speech, and mind somewhat, and we've accumulated the merit of having done so. So just to stop us corrupting that through self-grasping, imagine your body, speech, and mind, your enjoyments, everything you hold dear, the universe itself, are utterly transformed through wisdom realizing into this, and reappear as a wonderful pure land whereby you can give teachings to others in the future. And this land you offer to the Buddha and his entourage. You say, this ground, anointed with perfumes, strewn with flowers, adorned with mountain merit, four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field rock. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. When the Buddha has accepted your offering, he smiles at you with delight, and you look up into his eyes, And looking into the eyes of the Buddha, you recollect your desire to be free from suffering and its causes. Your wish to become a Buddha for the benefit of all beings. And the correct view that all phenomena lack true existence, but do dependently arise. You aspire to be a Buddha, a fully awakened being. So induced by your wishes and prayers, it emerges from the heart of the Buddha, a second figure who absorbs into you. And your form clearly becomes that of a Guru Buddha. From your heart, life rays strike all thinking beings surrounding you. And each of them is placed in the state of the Guru Buddha. So you and all beings are now seen to be fully awakened, enlightened beings, Buddhas. And so from the heart of yourself, all beings, is a mantra going reflecting in the Buddha. You can hear it resonating in space. And you join in, saying, Kaya Tamri Mahamre Soha. Kaya Tamri Mahamre Soha. Kaya Tamri Mahamre Soha. But I'm really so hard. I think now the two purposes have been achieved. You've accomplished your own awakening and you've helped everyone else do the same. Then recognize that this meditation is one of imagination. Although this enlightenment hasn't actually taken place, we've imprinted the mind with the potential for it to take place. I think you've done something meaningful with this evening. And then a firm wish to become awakened for the benefit of others. And breathing in through your nostrils. Exhale through your mouth. And get your eyes open and move your body in whichever way you'd like to, so you feel quite comfortable in your seat. Okay, so last week we looked at what meditation is. Can anybody remember what meditation is? What are we doing? Meditation is we're cultivating or becoming familiar with a mental property. Why do we meditate? To basically just change the mind into positive states of mind. And last week we did a breath meditation. This week we're looking at the posture, or looking at the body and the way we prepare the body for practice. And these are some of the books I've been using. So Commit to Sit with Less Pain and The Posture of Meditation are really in-depth books of looking at the posture of sitting and why you sit that way and what can be produced in dependence upon your posture. Walking Through Walls, gosh, it was a really good book. And really talks about the practice of calm abiding and the different states you can experience once you reach the state of calm abiding. Steps on the path to enlightenment has quite an in-depth section here for preparing the body to meditate. So let's look at the the posture itself. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures here, but basically just sort of 4 ways you meditate. In terms of the purpose for the posture, so you sit like this so that you can be relaxed and have the body and mind stable and the mind be vivid. And there are 4 postures. As you can see here, you can meditate lying down. This picture here, the person's particularly lying down on the right side, and they'll have their nostril, the right nostril blocked off like that. The Buddha was supposed to have died in this posture. It's called the lion posture. It's a sleeping posture. So if you go to focus on the last thing you do at night when you go to sleep is to lie on that posture, put your arm over there, pop your nostril, and breathe. There are standing meditations. This is the second one there with the fellow in the grey shorts and t-shirt. So there are different ways you can stand too, and it really does make a difference to your meditation. You should try this out. Try the difference between sitting, lying down, and standing. The thing that I like about standing meditations is that you can relax really quickly, because you can just actually stand there and tighten everything up pretty quickly. Just get your hands like this, tight and just let it go. Your body sort of drops, and you can still click in your knees. You know, that's the right posture. And you can just stand there like that, you keep your eyes open, and when you breathe, you get a really good movement of the air going right down to your tummy, and you feel it all. So you're very present. So the danger of sitting here like this and closing your eyes is that you lose presence and you can fall asleep very easily or become very dull-minded. That's not going to happen when you're standing. Also, when you're standing, you don't need to have your eyes wide like this. You can just sort of look down at the floor like that. Or just leave them relaxed. It's up to you. So the sitting ones we're pretty all familiar with. We'll go into that in a bit more depth shortly. The other, of course, is walking meditation. So there are particular ways of walking, and these are discussed in the book. So you've got to be sort of quite careful and consider about how you place your feet. The posture should support the mind and not torture the body. So if you're ever feeling really sore in the way you're sitting, change your posture. You'll never be able to meditate with any sort of depth or even stability if you keep thinking about the pain you're going through. So comfort is probably better for us. Okay. So there's 4 postures. The idea is the posture should be a relaxed state, support relaxation, stability. So the lovely thing also about lying down, it's not here on something, you can also lie down on your back, which I'll show you later on. And that's terrific because your back can actually be straight then. You know, if you put a cushion underneath your legs when you lie down, your back is supported by the floor and not by space itself. So anybody knows if you've been sitting for a while, you'll start to go down like this, right? And you start moving all over the place. And this is not really conducive for meditation. So now what to sit on is our next one. So we have these different types of seats and cushions. So everybody is sitting on a cushion here. And they've got different names. So you can see it's what's called the full lotus, which is really what they call a Vajra posture. That's when your left foot is up on your right thigh and your right foot is up on your left thigh. You've got that crossed over what the Tibetan Buddhists call a Vajra. So when it's not like that, then it's called a lotus or half lotus. And so that's probably what most of us could do. Or if not, we just do like a half lotus, we just put one leg up and the other one underneath. You can also see it's not on the other side, close to the Burmese. That's quite straightforward too. You just, like you're sitting on the cushion, the legs are not crossed, but they're sort of like that. And they're just down in front of you. That's one of the ways of sitting. Another is, so if you're kneeling, you can sit, you can get your cushion and so you can sit on it and have your legs go out each side of it. Like, easy to demonstrate, isn't it?
So cushion or
you just,
kneel?
I think, I don't know, can you guys see how these people are sitting here with their legs alongside them and not in front of them? Yeah, that's okay, thank you. But yeah, so you might get a, sorry, can you just hold that up just for a moment? Yeah, so this seat here, as you can see, you can put your legs underneath it, or you can put your legs alongside it, or you can put your legs in front of it. Yeah, so you can put it out. Thank you. Yeah. And of course, there's also sitting on a chair. Now, if we're not doing it here, but I have done it before, where I've grabbed these tables on the side here, on the side of the room, and pulled them down and stuck them underneath the back legs of the chair. But that way you get the chair to tilt up like this, so the back is raised. You get a little angle in the seat. If you've got something at home, 4x2, a piece of wood, that's what you can do, just lift up the back legs and you'll find that you go forward a little, but it's natural. You sort of have all this great support of the seat being raised. Otherwise, like here, I often sit and you end up putting cushions on the chair. You know, so that's what you have to do. You just got to find a comfortable way to sit. What happens, of course, while you're sitting over time, you get tired, and your shoulders will hurt, your neck will hurt, your lower back will hurt, your thighs will hurt, your knees will hurt, your ankles hurt. Sometimes you get what they call a dead leg. So I've had stories of people sitting here for a while, chatting away, and everything's fine. Then they get up and they fall over and break their ankle, or in one case, this bloke broke his leg. He's gone to sleep and they haven't noticed. Doesn't say much about mindfulness, does it? Oftentimes you'll feel you get the pins and needles in your feet, so you get some idea, and that's why it's often best to sit here for a while and rub your feet or rub your legs before you put them on the floor. You know? Okay, seats themselves. Now, you know, we've got a number of seats here. We've got lots of cushions here. That little chair that Madonna lifted up, you can see like this in the picture here, it's got 3 different levels. When I was up at CI just recently, I had one of these and then I bought a little blow-up cushion. So I like them because they're very easy to carry. You can fold them in half and you just blow them up. And what's nice about them is that they've got movement in them. Now, so I just threw my blow-up little cushion on this. I've got the right height. Put my legs underneath it, and you get a little bit of seat that sort of move as you move. As you can see, there's things called futons here. There are round seats you can put on, like up the back of the. Probably also those big yoga rolls. They're nice to sit on. If you sit on and put your legs on either side, they're certainly really good and firm. They're also nice to sit on if you just sit and sort of get your legs to drop beneath them. Unless you're just sitting correctly. You need to play around with this idea here. So you can see how there's like a triangle there. Okay, and this is what you're going to try and do when you sit. It's like you sit and you're going to run your nose down through your navel. Right? So it's in line. As you can see, like here, it comes out, down, and then out to your two knees and back up. And so there's Langri meditations, meaning sort of analytical meditations on the stages of the path. In our tradition, it said and the eyes should be looking back are straight, shoulders relaxed. And then your eyes are like sort of looking down the nose. You actually see that the eyes should be slightly open. And you just see the tip of your nose. And then you close your eyes and look at more as long as some light comes in. And you can always blink, it's okay to blink. And you see the body breathe itself. I'll show this, see our next picture. So here you can see the people are actually sitting on the floor and they've got the cushion and they sort of sit towards the end of the cushion. They don't sit right up on it, they sit on the end. And when I sort of sit down here, I try and get like a couple of cushions, so I can actually tilt them up. The idea for that is to get your knees down lower than your hips. So this is a funny thing, you'll notice this now when you go and see pictures. If you have a look at yoga sites or people meditating, and see if they're ever sitting like that. That is completely wrong. So today I saw a guy watched a little clip. This guy was talking about dealing with lower back pain and sitting. And so he's sitting on the ground and his knees are up higher than his hips. And he's talking about back pain. No, back pain, that's how you get it. Sitting like that. So one time we had a nun here and used to come to our centre. And she must have been able to sort of cross her legs and sit with her bottom flat on the floor. Right? And we sort of said, oh, don't sit like that, don't put a cushion on it. She said, no. This is how I said, I've done this for years, I know what I'm doing and so forth. Okay. And no kidding, within 4 months her back gave out and she couldn't ever come back to a session. She kept her aerobics for about 3 years, but could never move out of home. All sorts of things like that until, it takes a long time to recover if your back goes out, your lower back goes out. You do not want that to happen. And anyway, all this, just refused to do distinction. She was okay, and it worked fine so far. So I don't want that to happen to you or to me. Now you'll see that when you actually, some of the times like this one where it's got the cross, what happens of course is you can feel this yourself, like if you're sitting in the chair, just check if you're sort of slumped, right? And then you sort of cramp up your belly. Because if you are, you can't get air down there, so you might have to sort of lift yourself up a bit. If you notice that you can lift yourself up a bit, you should just sort of like that. Yeah, like sort of like that. You go like, you'll notice there's this. Now my tummy is sort of flat, and I can breathe. You're quite vivid and aware, but as soon as you go down, that's right, like that. Believe me, it doesn't take long before you start getting really tired. You become lethargic, start to shift around along in the seat, you can't really get comfortable. So it's better if you take some time to, fiddle about. It's okay. You're better off to get the posture right, then the meditation will go fine. One of the things, especially, I think it's really a good idea to always think of yourself as a beginner. That way you'll always be open to learning use things, you won't get too arrogant about who you are in the practice. So why I'm saying this is when you meditate, especially in the beginning, do not do long sessions. You just become dull. If you're not good at this, a long session just makes you tired and dull, and that is not what you want to become familiar with. Like I said, you want the mind to be vivid, clear. So do shorter sessions. In fact, probably you will have the longest for quite some time, maybe 24 minutes, 25 minutes, that's enough. But you'll know within that time, you'll do your few preliminary prayers, you'll do the dedication at the end, that'll take about a few minutes. So you probably end up maybe just meditating for between 15 and 20 minutes. You do the preliminaries really quickly. And that's better. So so what do you guys, is there anything you'd like to ask or all I've covered so far? I've just looked at the seats, what to sit on and the posture.
I have one of those knee. So what kind of cushion do you have? Is it like to roll up with the hole in the middle?
No, I don't have that one, but that one might work fine too. I would trial and error. So the one I've got is just like it's round, it's plastic. It's got all these little ridges on it because I wanted to have like a massaging for my buttocks.
Yeah.
You all know what it feels like, right? So I wanted some massaging things. My mate, he bought from the same firm, a different one. He bought like a wedge with these little ridges on. And then he sits on that and he thinks it's really great. That's all. Could bought one of those too just to try them out, you know. But yeah, this other one you could try it, try it. There's there's no hard and fast rule there. The major thing I think is to be comfortable, to be at ease. If you want to do this, you like it, you feel good. If you good support to do that, all the better.
I still find I need some support under my ankles.
Yeah.
I can't do it straight up.
No. Yeah, so you find a really simple, good thing to help you is a towel. Towels, I'd say, it's small ones, so you just, like I say, just push them under your ankles. Yeah, so like if you're sitting or in the chairs or even on seats, the most important thing is to make sure that your knees are lower than your hips. Otherwise, you're going to put a lot of stress on your lower back and your hips, and over time, it'll really do you in. So, don't do that. So often I say the most important thing is a straight spine. But if your knees are lower than the hips, this will sort of naturally occur. But straight spine, knees lower than the hips. That's what you're looking for. And just play around until you get that, until it feels right. When you're sitting on chairs, of course, the idea is to try and get your feet flat on the floor as well. You want to be like quite stable and like, erect, on guard, but relaxed at the same time. So it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not saying standing seems easy to me. Because at least you can stand, you make yourself really tight and then let go, and you just go, it really drops. You get that little thing that martial arts and how you stand, if your legs are slightly bent, like that, you're alert, I sort of like that. Then you can be quite deliberate about what you're going to think about now. If you've got a meditation in mind, you're not going to lose track because you're up. That's sort of, on guard sort of thing, right? Now there's this great lama in Tibet, he's world famous. Tibetan famous, real famous. What he's most famous for is teaching a man called Milarepa. And this guy's name is Martha the translator. And so here's a quote of his, which is, even if you combined all the profound oral instructions of Tibet, they could not compare to my system of sitting in the sevenfold posture of Vairochana Buddha, Vairochana alone. So here's his name, Mapa, is a Lotsala, meaning he was a translator. Turkey Lodro means intelligent one of the Dharma. So he got this, well, he didn't come up with it, but he sort of really made this really famous and popular way of sitting. And this is what the posture sort of looks like. You're all familiar with it, you see it up, the Buddha sits like that. It's what they call a Vajra posture. The feet are up on each of the things, the hands are like that. And there's a whole lot of other things which I'll talk about. So the first thing is, the eyes are fixed on the nose. Right? Like I said, you sit there like it's on the tip of the nose. You're looking there like that. You don't need to force your eyes to do it. It should be sort of light. So Zollius often makes jokes about this too. If he's talking to Westerners, they've got long noses, so he's often grabbing their nose. That's the case to watch. Put your eyes there. So your eyes not too wide, not too deeply closed. There are types of meditation where the eyes are kept wide open, some like this, others up like that. There's all sorts of different things, they produce different effects. It really depends upon the type of meditation you do. In our tradition, because it's Lam-Rim, meaning graduated stages of the path, it's like sort of very lightly opened, looking down towards the nose. This type of meditation is a lot of analysis. So you're sort of thinking, but concentratedly. Eyes fixed on the nose. You see the nose and the navel are aligned. So this is this idea of doing it like this, so you're not like over there or over here, so it keeps you sort of straight. Third, the breathing should be natural. So there are types of meditations where you can breathe 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 6, exhale for 8, all sorts of different numbering systems for breathing. Produce different effects. Here, none of that is boring. It's just relaxed breathing, mainly through the nostrils. But there's nothing to sort of. It's okay to do nose, mouth, or just the nose. So lips and teeth are sort of natural, so they're not pushed up against each other, as I do, like a little gap, So if you were to breathe in through your mouth, you could. But what's interesting here is that the tongue goes up between the upper teeth. So that's a little bit unnatural, right? You have to sort of get used to that. Just put it up there. Relax. Now the main purpose for doing that is because if you start going beyond 24 minutes, suppose you can do all 24 minutes, it would be great. But you decide to do a longer practice. Well, the longer you go, the more chances there are that you're going to start to drool. So having your tongue up there like that will stop that. It doesn't happen. Shoulders being straight and even. So again, often when you sit, I guess depending upon the instructor, but I know from it, if you sit there and you get really tight, like pause, stop, adjust your posture, lift your shoulders up, drop them. Like there's times you just get too tight, and so do something about it, and not sit there like this and pull your shoulders down for a bit. Lift your head back up. And the shoulder things, and then just take your posture. Spine straight, of course, and then you have these legs that are crossed over. Yeah, so probably, like I said, so there's a number of important things to do. One is, like I said, make sure your knees are below your hips. You want a straight spine. The other two really important things are the eyes and the breath itself. Now, when you're, again, relaxed and natural. So, there is we store a lot of tension in the face. And a lot of it is around the eyes and the jaw, with your teeth. But so, might be really helpful to do different eye things, like getting the palms of your hands, putting them into head. You can go online and find all really simple eye exercises, like even rubbing them. When we went on retreat just recently, I bought some this material where you can actually sort of, it's a cream, and you sort of spray it. You close your eyes, and you put it on your eyelids, you get a tissue, and then you sort of just wipe it. When you get up, you get another thing, you drop some drops in your eyes. Man, it makes the most biggest difference. Suddenly your eyes are fresh. Now they're not tired anymore. It makes a big difference to you sitting there. You can find these little, well, I'll just call them hacks. Just the way to try and get everything working as best you can, as quickly as you can, as cheaply as you can. So many years ago, so I don't know, for most of you, you might probably start meditating with your eyes closed. So I was like this for years and years. And then I read something and I just changed my mind completely. I have to change. And it was a really simple thing. It's like, so what we meditate, so imagine like we're here, right? We're meditating with our eyes closed. Now, what we're meditating upon is something that we want to become familiar with, isn't it? We're cultivating a mental property. So, suppose so now we're out here and we're out in the world. You want to call upon this property. Do you close your eyes to do it? You don't need to do you? Don't need it at all. So just that, I thought, that's right, that's why you've got to keep your eyes open. You keep your eyes open, you want to have these qualities of development that don't require your eyes to be closed. So keep them open. Then we went up, and then Alan Wallace came over, so he's one of famous meditative scholar type person, translator. He came over, went up to Teresa Institute, so I'm going to go up and listen to the sky. And we went up, and of course this one instructed all of us to keep our eyes open. Really? Now, somebody from here was there, and they found it so, Bruce, so hard to keep the eyes open. And it is, when you're not used to it, it's like quite a strange thing. But you can get used to it. It doesn't, our eyes are open all the time. The only time they actually close is going to sleep and meditating, isn't it? So, try to keep them open. And of course, like the guy that says you don't, the eye's taking a lot of data every day, so they get tired. So you need to find ways to relax the eyes, and of course, the breath. There are different breathing types of meditation you can do to relax the breath. But in the Gelugpa tradition, and it's to do with Mandarin or graduated stages, it's relaxed. It needs to be natural. In other words, we're not trying to do something different with the eyes or the breath. why is this posture that Mapa considers so great, why is it the best? So it gives like 5 reasons. So they say it's really good for developing pliancy. So pliancy is a very sort of relaxed state of body and mind. So you can have mental pliancy and you can have physical pliancy. So how do you know you've got it? Well, you feel really good inside. It's not, it takes a lot to develop it. But once you've got it, then you have what they call calm abiding. So if you have a state of pliancy, and it's required at the upper levels of meditation. Why? Because the mind can easily move to an object, doesn't get tired, and you don't get tired either. But so your body will not become tired, it will always feel fresh, and so will the mind. So these postures really lead to that. This state of pliancy. So without pliancy, you can't have emptiness and you won't have calm abiding either. Pliancy lets you know you're right there. You don't get exhausted. Isn't that great? You don't get tired doing retreat and meditation. But you do in the beginning, that's for sure. And Guest often said, if you're not tired, you're not working. That's what you're saying. You're resting or sleeping. But after a while, you will do work, but it won't be exhausting for you. But the other thing that says it's uncommon for others, meaning this is the Buddhist meditation. Meaning this is how the Buddhists sit in meditation. 7-point Virochana. Not the case in other traditions, many other ways you can sit. And of course, because the Buddha sat like this, all the great meditators in Tibetan tradition sat like that. Of course, not only like that, because there's plenty of other ways you can sit, especially if you're developing Mahamudra or Dzogchen. You sit differently, you use your eyes differently, but those are different meditations. Like I said, again, it's used by the Buddhists. Now, there's a really good book which I didn't have up there on my book thing. But what's so great about it is he goes into really great depth of how this posture affects the subtle energy systems. But so each part of the body is working against the reflection, in other words. So what the posture pacifies is putting your hands and legs in that particular posture pacifies what they call jealousy and hatred. So what's been so here we're working on a more subtle level, not so much the mental, but the energies within the body and how they carry these particular ways of thinking that we've got. But as you know, all thoughts have some energy. The energy is called wind. And that energy is associated with the mind that's riding upon it. Often we talk about our minds being jealous, it's a jealous mind, or the mind of hatred. But these minds have some energy. This energy is called wind or lung that moves through the body. And if you hold it, put your hands and your legs and feet in all different positions, they don't come up. So it gives the mind a sort of neutral place to start from. The legs and hands, they pacify jealousy and hatred. The spine stops the confusion. Especially the more erect you can hold it and relax, the better, because the air just moves straight up and down. If it's not, then it gets sort of caught up. The shoulders, again, pacifying confusion. The head and the neck. So again, I've often found it quite useful to do neck exercises and head stuff before sitting. Like, I don't know, for me, I get a lot of tension in my neck and into the shoulders. But if you're working in front of computers, that's what's going to happen to you. So you're gonna have to, the same, but that's right, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to break it up a bit, you know. The lips and the teeth, a slight smile causes happiness. So that's like, I often say to people when they're meditating, put a slight smile on your face or imagine you've got one. There are like 40 different muscle groups in the face. That little smile, imagined or real, will relax them all. So 40 muscle groups just changed with the smile. The tongue is to pacify desire. The light comes in, so of course you are awake. And the breath, so the breath is like the eighth number. It's called a 7-point Vairocana posture. Sometimes they include the breath as the eighth point. And as you know here, the breath should remain natural. We're not trying to control the breath here. So when I opened the book up, one of the authors there was called Leah Zala, and she was one of the authors of Walking Through Walls. So since then, she's written another book with a different number, I think she's working with. It's called Concentration and Meditative States Within Tibetan Buddhism, I think it is. Full of really detailed stuff. It's really great because he's talking to different really high lamas and they're giving all this information. It's not an easy book to read, that's for sure. But if you can open it up in parts that interest you and go, okay, man, there it is. That book together, Walking Through Walls, you all know about concentration and developing mental states. Those two books are really, really good.
So, Andy, that makes a lot of sense about the tongue pacifies desire. You know, babies, like if they're, whatever's wrong with them, if you, even if it's your finger, you put it in their mouth, like it pacifies their wanting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's funny, yeah. Like, because they use their tongue when they suck. I don't know if you know this, but babies use their tongue when they like suck on the nipple. They don't, it's not that, it's that.
It's the tongue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it behind the tooth, little boy. But now, but the essential point, this is the thing they always highlight, is this idea of the spine. So you want to, it's not easy, is it? It's like, oh my, this is going to go like that. Now lift it up, because otherwise collapsing it through like that. You got to lift it up, then drop your shoulders, but don't drop down. And still try to be relaxed. So people have done martial arts. You probably know how to do this, right? To relax within the body, to be stable, erect, ready, but relaxed at the same time. So again, anything interesting? Anything you'd like to ask? I was previous to going down, oh man, this is so straightforward and simple, what am I going to say? But who knows?
Why is it called the Vairocana posture?
This is the Buddha Vairocana. So Vairocana represents form. So this body is form. Yes, you can see here, so it's influencing what they call the more subtle body, meaning these winds or airs that are inside the body. In other words, our subtle energy system. You can sit in this particular way, it will contribute to successful meditation. Let's do meditation. Yep. So yes, I just like that sort of rock around, try and move your shoulders a little bit, roll around. So yeah, before we do this, perhaps just rolling the head back, looking up, getting the stretch on the throat. Relax, right? You bring it forward, bringing down, bring your chin down to your chest. And breathing in and breathing out. And lift your head up and just turn it towards the left. Look, don't go tight. And move it back around to the center and then over to the right. Again, just move right around, go to the left. Hold there for a couple of seconds, breathe. And exhale, start turning. Go to the other side, breathe in. Exhale. And on the exhale now, just look down. You just stretch your neck and look down, looking down. Breathe again. Move it across to the other side. And again, just look down. Drop the chin into the throat and just look down. Be a sort of different stretch. Lift it up, come back. Now just sort of gently, and now just lift your shoulders up and down. And now do that shoulder shrug business here. Lift both shoulders up and go backwards. Okay, now stop now. Lift it up and go forwards. Now just lift it up high up to your ears. Breathe, just breathe there. And the exhalation, drop them down. Breathe, keep breathing longer and naturally. Other things you can do, you want to sort of shake your wrists, put them up a bit like this if you like. Out there, do the flap, flap. Sure. And then this sort of way. You also, if you're sitting there too, you might want to raise one leg up off the floor, put it down, and do the other side. Just see how you can make it straight like that. Just like this, things up. Then sort of work in there, but just drop your like that over to one side. Don't do it too tight, just natural, not too far. Come back, other side. So if you feel little creaks and cracks, good. And break them open. In fact, I'd suggest that you, if you're going to be before doing meditation, even just do a few squats. You know, just get the big muscles working. The meditation is so much better if you do a little bit of exercise before doing the meditation. It always does. Feels better, goes better. Okay, so now you take your position. And then adjust yourself and sit in the way you want to. This, go slowly, start off with this chant. Your spine is straight, your head is sitting nicely on your neck. Then your eyes are sort of closed, but a little bit of light coming through, and you're looking down to your nose. And your nose is in line with your navel. You can place your hands up wherever you like. You can put them in that posture that you saw in the picture with the thumbs lightly touching your thumb. And the right is cradled by the left, the palm. Thumbs lightly touching. Make sure you have some air between your, so your ribs and your arms. And then just let your body breathe itself. And check the posture and see if you seem to have some sort of an inner stability. Now, so we'll just do say 3 or 4 minutes of just breathing like this, and then I'm going to ask you to do something and notice the difference, if there is one. So here we're just breathing to gain some sort of stability. Your breathing is natural. Now, if you find yourself so relaxed and you sort of feel like sleeping, perhaps you want to open your eyes a little bit. Now, you might notice that you have more mental clarity. And this is because this posture calms the nervous system. Just having a posture like this frees your mind from managing physical discomfort. In the same way that a really straight tent pole frees the space inside the tent, in the same way your straight spine, your relaxed shoulders are doing the same to the body. So for the next 2 minutes, I won't say anything, and then I'll give you the last instruction. Now, I want you to imagine something funny is happening or has recently happened, and you've laughed, so you have a smile on your face. So imagine you're laughing or smiling, or actually smile, and then notice the difference. Keep breathing normally and naturally. Your lips are slightly open. Your tongue is behind the top teeth. And this is funny. Breathing in a little bit more forcefully through the nostrils, breathing in. Yeah, let it go. Exhale with the breath. Keep your eyes flutter open. Move your posture, whatever way. And did you notice any difference when you put the smile or imagine? Did you feel anything? So I hope so, because you should be able to discern that. In fact, you know why the Buddha is smiling. Right? So there's a type of meditation where you can only move from the present state you're into the next state by smiling. That's how you make the move. The mind makes the move because you are smiling. Remember that there's a relationship between the body and mind. So just doing that does something to the mind.
Next stage of
Well, this one was like to enlightenment. It was very next last stage, and it required a smile. That's how it was done. Now let's look at some of these other ways to meditate. We've looked at these. There's the walking and like the standing one. You know, like in yoga, if you do it, it's like mountain pose, isn't it? Really, it's a great pose. So at least, you know, you don't need to do like for long, because it does seem like a long time when you're standing still. You don't like that. Minutes to take hours. They're useful. Now, so we've got the lion pose and the corpse pose. So the lion pose, of course, is lying on the right-hand side, so men and women can do this. It's a good training at night when you know, if you sleep alone. It's like, okay, turn on the right side. Now the idea is there's these channels in the body. For both men and women, lying on the right side gently closes that channel. And this is the key. By blocking the pathway for deluded energies, you create an environment where the mind is less likely to be swept away by fear and confusion. This allows the consciousness to remain stable and clear, and it encourages a more peaceful exit from the body. You try and do this during life, and so at the time of death, it's quite simply just roll over onto your right-hand side, lock the nostril. Now, talking about, so this again is a very simple pose you can do before you meditate. It's called the corpse pose. If you've ever done yoga, you'll be familiar with it. So you can see the person is lying on their back, their arms are out like that, their feet just drop out like that. It's complete relaxation, eyes closed, shoulders relaxed. You just sink into the earth like you're dead. That's what we call corpse posture. You do that for say 3 or 4 minutes, that'll calm everything down. Then you can get up and then sit on your cushion. I'd suggest before doing that, like I said, I really like the standing up and then doing the mountain and then, you know, getting really tight and then breaking it all. And but otherwise, you can do it like this. Now, there are plenty of ways of learning to relax quickly, of course. But there are many benefits of this posture. So you can see it reduces the nervous and muscular tension, fatigue and insomnia, lowers blood pressure and reduces heart rate, improves memory and concentration, and improves self-confidence and focus. So if you've gone to yoga classes, oftentimes I'll finish with this pose, won't they? It's the last thing people do. You walk up, rejuvenate.
Very good for jet lag. It's called the grounding pose.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really good for jet lag.
I read something else about jet lag too today. And yeah. Okay. Now there are other things you can do, of course. This is a really simple thing to do, right? You just so this is one thing you can do. You got your arms, you bend your elbows, and just like this. So when I do that standing, I'm like that too. I just do it, tighten it up until I do it like that. My arms are in shape, and you stop. Just let it go. Again, it's the same sort of thing. You point out with the legs, tighten everything up. Upper chest and back, and inhale and hold for a count of 10. Lift your shoulders, tilt your neck back. But this one here, the face crunch. So I'll just take this off and show you. So this is, so you can sit there like that and just put your hands under here and pull sharp. You push up and you open your mouth. Right? So yeah, you're fine. Go and do it. Big thing for your face, just like that, right? Well, that's right. Because you want it, all just wake it up. Other things, you can get your thumbs, you push them in under here. Yeah, so step up. And you can actually roll it too, you know. You feel these muscles under here all really tight. Now I like to do what the people do in the, I go have my massage. They grab the ears and they just pull the acupuncture points on the ears and they just pull their ears like that. They go like that. Yeah, they take a lesson. They take these exercises, take the shortest amount of time. But they can add so much to your meditation and make it much more enjoyable and not so tiring.
Okay. Well, that is too.
Okay. Any questions about this sort of, I've just done like quick fixes, how to get relaxed quickly, how to sort of rejuvenate yourself quickly. These other simple things also help, like I said, a glass of water beside you when you meditate, you can just dip your fingers in, wet your lips, dip it in through your eyes. There's another one just to sort of swirl your mouth, just to get it wet.
If you're doing the horse pose, is it a problem if you end up falling asleep?
No, it's probably not a problem. You probably need to have a sleep. I don't think that's a problem. I think you need to sleep. And after you sleep, then you can meditate. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at our last meditation. So this is about, so I'll talk to you a little bit about it first and then we'll go through it. I've got two pictures. There's this one here, and I'll show you the other one, but then we'll come back to this one. So the other one is, you can see this idea here. So this black line is what they call the central channel. It sort of runs down just off your spine. That's the black one, and then you've got your nostrils left and right. It comes up like this, like an umbrella, goes up, then comes down, and then it feeds into the bottom down here. And this is incredibly important for highest yoga tantra practice and so forth, but you can still use it in the sutra methods. Now there's a, so in the book, like Walking Through Walls, like you said, you don't actually, in terms of meditation, you don't actually need to do it like this, right? So there are two ways of doing it. One is, if you do it like for the physical thing, that's when you just go, you block one nostril off, you go, you do it one more time, it's free, and then you go, okay, now it's this side I block, is it? Yeah, this side. Now I breathe in on this side. That's sort of more the physical yoga, but that's quite unnecessary for doing this. So let's do it that way to show, well, this is really simple, isn't it? Just blocking this one off, you block the other one. But when you actually do it, you're just doing it with your imagination. So you don't actually block off the nostril physically. but you just sort of think, okay, I'm just going to breathe in through this nostril, and it's going to go in, and it's going to go right down there, and then come back and hop in the middle. Exhale. Now, one of the books there it is, Walking Through Walls, but it's Holiness the Dalai Lama explains how he does it, and it's a little bit different than what we normally do. So, like I said, there's lots of ways of doing this, and I think the best way is to just start off as a beginner, make it real simple, and that might mean just do this one first, do the actual things. Well, I'll just read out what Holiness said, and then we'll do it differently. Just to give you an idea of how he does it. Right? The Dalai Lama uses this mudra to start the meditation. With each hand, place your thumb at the base of your ring finger, then close your hands into fists. Place your fists on your knees with your palms facing downward. So like that, I guess. Inhale and slowly move your hands up along the sides of your torso until you arrive at your chest. Then push your fists out in front of you as you exhale. There we go. Now tuck your right fist under your left armpit. And now you're ready to do the 9-round breathing meditation. Place your left pointing finger against your right nostril. Close your nostril and inhale slowly to the other side. Switch, put that finger, put it over there. Breathe in. Yeah, so just do backwards and forwards on that one, then you exchange and put them down, they go the other way, this one, and now you do it like that. There's, like Geshe Lodro says, practicing this meditation relies not so much on the breath itself as on the imagination of inhalation and exhalation. And this is because you are mainly cleansing your own motivation after making manifest your impure motivation. In other words, you start saying, so we begin with our motivation, right? So we say it. And then this comes saying, yeah, but it's not actually pure yet, is it? So you do this breathing. And so that takes out the winds. And now the motivation has been purified. So we use the inner winds that these negative minds ride upon, like aversion and hatred. And that's what we set it up first with our ordinary way of thinking and speaking, and then we clear it up by doing this 9-round breathing meditation.
Eddie, so what does the Holiness say for the last 3 breaths? So the first one is doing it, putting your right hand in your left armpit, second one is doing it the other way.
That's right.
And what's the last one?
Yeah, it doesn't say.
I've seen a video of him where he's taking it through, he's taking a few people through, I think about 20 people in a gompa.
Doing this meditation.
Doing this exact thing,
Okay.
but he doesn't explain, and I always wondered what is it that he's imagining.
Yep.
There's even Geshe Zopa video, a couple of videos of him that I've seen, but he doesn't talk about like his visualization.
So there are so when you do these things, like there's like easy way and then more difficult.
I'm more interested in difficult.
Yeah, no. So I would say find the easy and then move to the difficult.
Yeah.
Over time, you go, yeah, I got that, it's fine.
Yeah.
And you find your way. So with the more difficult, the visualizations, then you have these visualizations of breathing in all the merits and power and purification, etc., of all the enlightened beings. So when we breathe in, you breathe in there as like white light. And then on the exhalation of one side, it'd be red, then black, and then grey. So grey for the ignorance, I think it's red for attachment, I think, and then black for the anger or hatred. So I have that's the sort of visualization here in terms of light.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give this a go. So again, do it in whatever way you think you can do it. You just want to you know, I mean, if you want to make it just like I say simple, just block off one and go breathing in the white, breathe out the black. With all the hatreds going. Breathing in the white. Hatred vanishing. Breathing in patience and love. Exhaling anger, resentment, and hatred. Now, from that nostril, you've just been exhaling all the anger, hatred, so breathe out the white light. Exhale the red light, and greed, attachment, lust. Breathing in the white. That goes the red, lust, greed, attachment. Breathing the white. All the lust and hatred and greed have vanished. Now, breathing into both nostrils and breathing in the wisdom of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. Now, the exhalation, think that we push out the self-grasping mind, the self-cherishing mind. Breathe in the wisdom of the Dhammadharma. Breathe in the wisdom, all the wisdoms. White light, and then we exhale. Self-grasping ignorance, the self-cherishing mind. Every form of ignorance vanishes. Last time, breathing in the white energy and the wisdom. That's your eyes, just particularly bring your attention back to the room. So we've come to the end of our lesson today. Is there anything that you guys would like to ask about what we've talked about tonight, or anything new, if you like? Or is that enough? Is that good enough for tonight?
Practical things are important. Like like you said, if your body's in pain, you can't meditate properly.
No, that's right.
These practical things are like little. There's a lot of little things to keep in mind.
Yeah, yeah. So if we can have a stable and relaxed body, this will really help us create a stable and relaxed mind. In fact, one of those books I'll show you at the beginning, the meditator there sort of comes from the Zen tradition, and there the importance of the posture in that tradition is immense. So you get that right, everything else will fly hunky-dory. If you don't, there'll be all sorts of difficulties that will come up. But depending upon the tradition, postures is very, very important. That 7-point posture, it balances relaxation and alertness. The key is this straight spine. Like I said, there are other important things. Always try to make sure that the knees are beneath your hips when you sit. And because there's a lot of tension stored in the face. So whatever you can do for your eyes and your jaws will make it really, just like what you just did, right?
I was just trying, I was experimenting to see if that did anything.
And that's what you want to do. Like, I do this. I'll pull all sorts of faces and get it really tight and try and move around. Like I said, your face, your eyes, they'll see everything. A lot of stuff goes on. If you can find a way to relax your eyes and your face, it will do you well. So there's some material about this class tonight up online. So I've taken material from FPMT notes, they're pages 5 to 10, from notes we've put together from our centre, pages 4 to 5 and 19 to 20. And then there are some other notes in the LTC extras on 1 and 2 meditation class. So today we sort of really looked at the physical postures, different ways of sitting and so forth. Next week we're going to come back to the mind and be really looking at how the mind uses stabilization meditation and analytical meditation. So a bit more about each of those and how you sort of pull them together and start to use them. So to say, thank you for being here and staying awake with that. That's good. So that requires energy. So you put energy into it, direct the energy towards the goal that you've set at the beginning of this class. So may we be able to develop our wisdom and our compassion and every other skill we have through the practices of meditation. May we become familiar with wisdom, compassion, and skillful means. To put an end to our own suffering and develop all our good qualities and to help others do the same. So due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a green Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the Supreme Jewel, or Chitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase evermore. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, may I too remain to dispel the sorrows of the world. Our prayer for the long life of His Holiness. We wish greatly, we wish the full endure, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world. To the incomparably kind, Tenzin Vatsa, I beseech, and all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And finally, prayer for discovery of Rinpoche's reincarnation. In holding and spreading these precious and complete teachings with explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged, incomparable and evergreen to you. Amen. And it's been my class, so thank you everybody. See you upstairs.